Host Podcast.
And it's funny because I always laugh and say, I was born in the wrong century because I'm such a futurist that I have to slow down. I don't think Vogue gets me as much as I think they should. You're like, oh, gotta wait like 20 minutes for it
And
to
now
go
you're
on.
like, what's wrong with my
It's so slow, Wi-Fi's so slow. This sounds so crazy, but it's true. We're not looking at the people with the real expertise anymore. And we're just discovering these funny little people. There's nothing,
Who are very good at selling themselves
I'm
and their
obsessed
stories.
with
They're
it.
salespeople.
We love them. But it's so crazy because how does that affect culture, right?
He was born in the Bronx, raised by rhythm, imagination, and a belief that anything was possible.
This is Jerome LaMaar. He's a designer, creative director, cultural futurist.
At 15, he landed a job at Baby Phat. Before he had a diploma, he already had a vision.
Since then, he's styled icons, forecasted global trends, opened the concept store in the Bronx, and joined the board of the Bronx Museum. His work isn't just about clothes, it's about healing, intention, and legacy.
He believes creativity can be cosmic, that mentorship matters, and that the future of fashion is rooted in purpose.
This is the world of Jerome LaMaar, and this is his story.
When I first saw Jerome, I honestly didn't know who he is yet, but I saw the outfit and it did say something. And I thought, who is it? And how do I become their friend?
And then we officially met at the backstage at Guan's show last season. And we randomly interviewed him. But after a second, we looked at each other and we're like, we have to interview him. Full episode on him for the podcast.
Yeah, and here we are right now. He's with us in the studio today.
Yes, designer, trend oracle, Bronx style legend. Yes, and somehow we got you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Welcome to Fashion Host Podcast, Jerome.
Oh,
Yes.
Thanks for having me again.
We're dying to hear the stories.
Wow, where should we start?
I've written something here.
Yeah, Vlada usually starts with something special.
But today's a little different.
Oh,
I have this.
So you're special.
Polymath, futurist, marketing expert, fashion illustrator, designer, creative consultant, color expert, copywriter, TV host, stylist, content creator. I have a question. How do you explain to a 5-year-old what are you doing for a living? With all this.
What I say to everyone is, I'm living my dream, period. So if I feel like I want to become a editor, become an editor, right? If I have a vision to become a designer, I put the work in and study to become a designer. My brain is created mainly to become something almost like in my mind, I think my brain is actually like built for science and connecting dots like that. So I can reprogram myself every time I see something I want to do, which is where I am now.
So basically a 5-year-old can think, oh,
dream big.
Yeah, here's this guy and he basically can do whatever he wants.
Absolutely.
He's got a magic superhero.
You know what? Both of those things. I think we all are equipped with this ability to manifest and the ability to create the world we want if we are focused and disciplined,
Is there something you learned on the way, or you were always thinking that way? Since we know that you started at 15.
15 years old, yes.
So were you thinking the same way back then?
So a few years ago, the New York Times did an article with me featured in it, and it was speaking about manifestation.
Okay.
And I didn't know I was manifesting. I just knew that I wanted certain things. And so I would hold the visual in my mind and pretend, the word pretend is very important, and pretend I already had it.
Fake it until you make it.
Yeah, pretty much, right? And then it just...
But not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way,
like
right?
prepare yourself.
You're preparing your mind. And I think our minds are muscles, right? If we use it accordingly, we can do certain things with it and achieve certain goals. So as a kid, I just assumed that everyone could do it. I visualized what I wanted, and in my mind, I already had it. And then like a week later, like my dad or my mom would like take me to Toys R Us and like buy me what I wanted, which is a toy, right? Like I used to be obsessed with Power Rangers.
Oh,
and so my dad...
Which one were you?
I was all of them. I was really the Pink Ranger, okay?
Kimberly?
But yeah, I love Kimberly. Ooh! But you know, because I was a boy, I had to be Billy because he was smart and I was smart. So I was like,
smart, yeah.
Everyone wanted me to be the Black Ranger. I was like, he's not me. But I had all of them. So my dad, right after I manifested it, one day we just walk into Toys R Us and I got all of them, including the Zords, which is like it was insane. I would never forget that feeling of saying, oh, if I want something, I could visualize it. Didn't know what that word was, but I knew I could hold the picture of it in my imagination and then eventually it'll come. And so that's how I kind of landed my dream job, which was at Baby Phat at 15. I was an intern first. So I went to school down the street, actually, on 57th Street and 2nd Avenue. And that was high school. It was art and design. And what was so cool about that school, it was surrounded with different people from different places of New York City and different mediums. We had really wealthy people with really like hood people with really like, it was so cool because it was like a melting pot of creative thinkers. I was like the top kid, so it didn't matter. I'm an overachiever, if you haven't noticed. And one day I was walking in the hallway and they told me to apply for this internship program. And I was like 15 years old, literally like 14.
That was beginning 2000s, right?
Yep, that was 2001. And everything, the world had just changed and we were just getting ourselves back, right? And I will never forget this teacher, who wasn't my teacher, he stopped me. He was like, you're really gifted. Everyone loves you. You're such a great worker. You know, why don't you apply for an internship? I was like, well, what's an internship? You know,
Yeah,
you're
right?
A kid.
How do
You're a
you supposed
kid,
to know
you
that?
know, like I knew but didn't.
I
I didn't know. I just knew that I wanted to work somewhere. So here's what I was doing before that happened. Manifestation. My mom, who's my favorite person in the universe, she's so cool. She was like in her mid 30s or maybe late 30s at the time. Can't remember. But she was like cute, you know, like 30s is cute.
Oh yeah.
And here she is.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's so
I remember
cute.
those days.
Right? And like your parent, you have this visual of your parent just being where we are, you know? And she came home from a fashion show she had styled for the music station Hot 97. We're New Yorkers. And she had this t-shirt on. It was a plum maroon color Baby Phat t-shirt. And it had the cat logo on it. And she was tiny, so it was like cropped. It was a baby tee. Imagine, my mom was so cool. Anyway, she said, this is Russell Simmons's wife's fashion brand. And I was like, because I didn't like Phat Farm. I didn't like it. I was like, I thought it was so corny. But that brand looked really cool because my mom was wearing it. It was like a baby tee and she had a little name on it. Never forget it. And I said, okay, well, I started having these visions of, I don't know where it came from, of me working for her.
Oh wow.
Like crazy. So I would have dreams. I was like, who is this Asian woman? I never saw there was no like way for me to know who this person was. I kept having this vision of this Asian woman and I kept saying, okay, who is this lady? Like, and then I said, okay, I want to apply for this company called Baby Phat. So they didn't even have a site. So I ended up calling every day after school. Every day after school, I would call the office. Crazy kid. And they got to know me so much that it was like, there was like little boy.
Yes, that's
Like,
what we have
you know,
to do.
you had to dial, like, you know? And so I had my own like landline in my bedroom. And so my mom was just like, okay, well, just do what you want to do. My mom was so cool. It's so cool. So I will call every day after school. Every single day.
Just a second. If you start receiving calls from me and Vlada or emails every day, this is why.
We're
Be
manifesting.
consistent and persistent. That is so important because that's how you're going to achieve it.
We will.
You have to. And people will respond or they won't. But the best part is now we have social media, so answer.
But sooner or later.
You see, I want to point out what he's saying is really important, that at first he said, oh, I'm visualizing, I'm manifesting. And I think it can be a trap for many people that they can assume that they can just sit there and manifest.
Right. You got to do the
But
work.
what you're saying later, you've been working on it. You didn't just call
Consistent.
once. You were doing it over and
Every
over
day.
and over again, right?
And they were tired of me, just FYI. They knew who the kid was who kept calling.
Well, but you did work
So
to get there.
So my grandmother passed away and I stopped. And I was like, okay, well, I guess it's not for me. That program that I now fast forward to walking in the hallway and the teacher tapped me on the shoulder and I was like, I don't even know what an internship is. I want to work. Duh.
Yeah.
Here I am. Then, weeks later, I went into the program and there was other gifted students from around New York City. And there were executives from all the biggest brands, Marc Jacobs, Michael Kors, L'Oreal, like the biggest people in the world, they were all there for the gifted high school students. I didn't care because I didn't see Russell and Kamora Simmons. So I just winged the whole thing. I was such a jerk.
Mark, no, sorry.
Sorry, no. Yeah,
Not
I didn't.
Asian girl.
Right, and the thing is, their executives were there. It wasn't them. So I was just like, I don't know who these people
You
are.
were 15, right?
Yeah, 14 and a half, 15, yeah. And what's so crazy was, which is why I believe in something so much bigger than myself, of any given day, I was discovered there. So Russell's right-hand man and Kamora's right-hand woman was sitting right in front of me, but they were just two Asian people. I was like, they're not my Asians.
Where
I'm
is
looking
my
for.
Asian woman?
Right.
You're not the one.
And I'm gonna work for Baby Phat. I just know it.
Wow.
And I didn't tell you this other part of the story, but I will after. And here the portfolio is open, and here's everyone walking around looking at portfolios. I'm a really strong fashion illustrator. And
We saw that.
she said, who did this? And I was like, me. Duh. Being a jerk, being an asshole.
Yeah, but 15, come on.
A jerk.
Yeah.
Total jerk.
Don't do that.
Please don't do that. But have confidence, but be kind and be like present, please. And this woman who didn't even have a card, Asian lady, she wrote her name on a white, I could see it in my mind's eye, a white card with orange lettering. It wasn't her card. She wrote it in pen, blue pen. And I said, well, Kamora's looking for someone just like you. My life changed. My whole energy changed because I was more, sitting as I think back, I was like hurt that my grandmother passed away. She was my favorite person. She was very spiritual too. And I guess I didn't believe that I was supposed to be in fashion at the time. I said, okay, well, I'll just do art, but I'll go into like physics or science because I love that. That's my thing. And so the universe just shifted it and changed my entire life. Once I got in, I just kept working. I just didn't even look back. But before I landed that job, I was my first to make money because I was a kid. I just wanted to make some quick money.
Wait, they offered you a job immediately without...
Offered me an internship from the program.
Yeah.
But I was really aggressive though. Like so aggressive. I was so intense as a kid. Like so intense. I knew what I wanted. I knew where I wanted to be. I knew who I wanted to be. And I achieved, now looking back, I achieved so much that I wish I had a little more fun. Because I was like so focused on the goal.
But
like,
didn't you have fun doing that?
Now, I mean, I did have fun, but I think I could have had more fun. And I think people, I'm a military kid, so I think people kind of wanted me to be a little looser, I guess, a little like more wild. And that's not how I was raised, so I'm kind of boring. Which is why I get to achieve my goals.
But you think you're boring because people have expectation. If you're working in fashion, you're having fun 24/7.
Yes, they expect us to be party animals, doing all kinds of drugs.
Which we heard a lot in this podcast, that people are really working hard to get there and achieve. And there is tons less fun and parties and
the fun's like this much.
Yeah.
the rest of the pie is
Yes.
work.
And we heard that a lot. So we know you're not lying.
I remember when I was like doing a lot of shows and photo shoots, like I've been working constantly nonstop, and I would come from one show to another one, fitting, and there some girl was at the fitting and she's like, "Oh, Vlada, are you going to this party after?" I'm like, "What party?" Like, I have another fitting and then another one, and then I have a wake up call. I mean, call time at 6 a.m.
Right.
Like, what
And
party?
I'm dressing,
like,
I'm drinking my
how?
water.
Yeah, most
Right.
of the girls were having time for a party, were not working as much.
Sure were.
And Jerome, how did you deal with being a 15-year-old teenager, working in a fashion brand in a high position, right? You were
It
associated.
became high as
yeah.
the company grew. Yeah.
And how did you balance that, like, normal life of a kid and someone serious in fashion? Like,
In such a company and
I think I
with
was
a position.
lucky. First, I was lucky to have a great family to understand, like, this kid wants to do it, let him do it. You know, so that's the first thing. They knew I wasn't going to be out doing crazy things because they knew my personality. I was kind of type A, a little like, ooh, don't touch my colors, like that as a kid. So my parents trusted me and they knew I was mature enough to do that. And then I was in school, and I went to an art school. So the art school was, and that's where Marc Jacobs went and Calvin Klein. I chose that school for those people. But hip hop started to take over the world by the time I got into high school. So I was living my dream job and I just did the work. That's all I could. I didn't even think twice. I was doing that, but I was crazy because I was working at Baby Phat, and then on the weekends, I took a job at Scoop NYC to do retail, to understand that side of it, to understand what people were actually buying, and they allowed me to do it, which is crazy, right? Like, that's why I love the company, because they allowed me to be a kid, to literally just be like, okay, you want to work retail, but you have an executive position. Who does that? That's almost impossible for anyone to allow that to happen. But I had the freedom to do that. I'm grateful for that. And I even took on an internship. I was doing a lot before I got hired full-time at Baby Phat, because I was around 17, 18 years old. I interned in Complex magazine in the fashion department, because I wanted the information to be in me. I wanted to be able to see what was happening on the streets and still work in a company that was bigger than the streets at that point. And I'm a nerd. So I just wanted to absorb and understand how magazines were working and how that worked. I loved it. I want to go back into, so basically I want to go back into magazines in a different way.
now?
Yeah, I think so. Because I love that. And my whole career has kind of been
around it.
Right? And as a creative director, I would love to shape a new narrative, because I've done that with style and in social media and, different things. So,
But magazines are kind of in
antiquated.
really bad, it's really bad position now.
Yeah.
How do you see that changing and you fitting in, and your vision, your talents, your knowledge, shaping it in a different way? Maybe just like rebranding.
I've always had this vision that I was like the Anna Wintour of culture.
Cultivating culture. That's what I read somewhere, right? That's your.
Yep. So I love fashion and I have great style, I have great taste, but I'm also trained because I absorbed so much information and I excelled in all of it. I have friends who are Michelin star chefs, and I wanted to become a chef at some point too. Jerome, you can't do everything. But I understood their process of creating their meals. That should be featured. I had a process of learning about how shoes were made. I made a shoe with Manolo Blahnik when I was working at Baby Phat.
How long were you at Baby Phat?
8 years. Crazy, right?
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
And how did you move from there?
What was next?
Where did
So
you
I
go
left
after?
Baby Phat and moved to Paris and did tendance, did trend forecasting. I learned trends. Had to learn how to articulate the trend and educate people in America about what trends are and how they could apply it to their American market because it was a French company. So went to Paris, learned all of it. It was hard because one, I'm a New Yorker from the Bronx.
You're from Bronx, right?
Yes, boogie down. So I already have a different swag, but going to Paris helped me to understand that I was really gifted. But oh my gosh, I forgot all about this little. My life has been really interesting.
It is.
Really?
Now I need to-
Really?
I didn't think about it.
Why
but
do
now
you
that-
think you're here and we're talking to you?
Before I went to Paris itself, I was an apprentice for Ralph Rucci. And Chado Ralph Rucci was the only American couturier considered in couture.
Back then.
And I learned, he was so sweet to me. He called me Kimura. Because he knew I worked for him.
Yes.
So I left Baby Phat on, they threw a Halloween party for me because I love Halloween. That was my last day, October 31st on a Friday. And then Monday I started at Ralph Rucci as an apprentice. So the salary I made I was living off it because they weren't paying me. But I learned how to use my hands in a different way, which is how I learned to bead and craft and all those embellishments that people love my brand for. So I'm grateful for that. Yeah. And then they couldn't handle it. They didn't have money to pay me, and I was like, I need to make money. And so that's when Paris happened. Yeah.
Like after 5 years at Baby Phat, were you aware where next 3 years and next 10 years will lead you, or you were living just what happened?
I think at the time.
Since you're a manifestor, why I'm
Yes.
asking this? It
I was
sounds like
manifesting.
you had a plan and you achieved the plans, but once you achieved Baby Phat,
I was bored.
You were bored. That's what I was thinking.
So I wanted to shape. I achieved the
person
goal.
like that working in corporate, no matter what position is, it becomes a really narrow, cornered way
Especially
of life.
a kid. Like I was a kid. I'm 40 now, which
But I don't think you would fit even now. You would
Right? I need something, and if I do, it needs to be something that feels like I can travel and see and do and work
every
from
day
home.
different. Not
Every
the
day has to
corporate,
feel different. I knew that I needed to leave after the 10-year anniversary. And that was my vision. I got it, and I was like, I want to design a 10-year anniversary. I did it. Named it Decade, which was my whole vision. Did that. And I was like, okay, this is not gonna work anymore because they weren't evolving. And I was like trying to explain to them, like, no one's making clothes with big logos anymore. Let's transform ourselves into something, because H&M had just arrived here, and Mark by Mark. Remember, everyone was like upset. And I kept saying, we need to like make our logos tonal, like make it invisible, or make them smaller, and let's transition the company into ready-to-wear brand. You know what I'm saying, right? But it's another era now, right?
Yes.
But back then, no one wanted a cat. You can't wear that cat everywhere.
That's true.
So like, where did you evolve from the cat? How do we make that feel a little more premium? And so like after having time at Scoop, I was like, you guys have to be like Paige jeans or like paper denim.
Yeah,
like,
I remember. I
I used to be obsessed. I love Scoop. I turned 21 there, which is crazy. And when I think about it, it's like, I wish that the company was so big at that point that they were just like,
it was hard to,
like, Jerome, just keep doing the deliveries. 31 licensees.
Yeah, it was hard to change the way of going.
Because money was coming in. And that was a pivotal moment where people were just like, I don't want to wear that anymore. I don't want to dress in logos. And it was that weird moment in culture. So,
Can I say something, by the way? We were talking with Ines earlier, and there might be a chance that you guys met even earlier than we met with you at the premieres.
Right? Because I was like, I know this face.
I was saying that.
I cannot.
I said, I know you.
Yeah.
I didn't know. It's
because
crazy.
I walked for Baby Phat 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah. But my memory is just mess, like a jungle, and I cannot locate people. I remember the faces, but that's it.
First of all, that era was so fast.
I was about to say, I came to New York and like I did so many shows. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Now when I hear some names, I'm like, ooh, I think I walked that. But it was no presence of internet and social media, so you can confirm that.
And you just keep going. And and that's why I'm trying to like conjure up all the images that I know I may have somewhere. It was so hard because
It was so hard.
because and there was no.
No.
I wish to think the world was better. It was like
imagine
so
I would
abundant.
have proof that I did all of this work. No, I'm like, but later, like 2007, 2008, all these forums, like fashion forum and stuff started, and that you could get some things, but prior to 2007, it's almost impossible.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is almost impossible. Like,
Someone
crazy.
sent me like a couple of years ago to my Instagram a photo of me walking a show 2000. So I don't remember the show at all.
2000 is serious.
Haute couture, I did like 7 or 8 shows that season, but I remember 2 only. I remember Veronique Laura and I remember Alexander McQueen and nothing else, right? But I don't have photos. I never seen.
Didn't happen.
So someone sent me a photo from one of the shows, and I was like, "This is me."
It's crazy,
and it
right?
says it's from the magazine. Probably someone took a photo of it, and it says Ines Agency Silvestre. Back then, that was my agency. 2000.
Oh, I have Japanese magazines like that.
Yeah, you do?
Because they used to fly to New York to like capture people, and I was always in all of them. So I have to like pull them out. I was like, oh, that was so cute and so edgy. Like, you know how you think
for yourself.
You know, like nobody.
That's why you were there.
Yeah,
That's why you were in the magazine.
I'm very grateful for that era because that was really authentic. People could connect in a more genuine way, even though it was so. It feels like a blur, and it almost feels like a fairy tale because it was a different world when you think about it.
And you remember feelings more than visuals and like action. Yeah, but you remember feeling. Oh, I have tons of amazing memories, and every time when I go through something about Asia and Japan and my time living there, it's a blur. I cannot locate with which year, with whom, where, and what, but I do remember being
good feeling.
Yeah,
that
being
feeling.
Happy, being satisfied.
Do you think we're losing that with social media?
I think we do. Vlada, don't listen. Now my co-host is pushing me to do social media more.
Yes.
But I don't have that habit. Right? If
have
I'm
to
enjoying,
develop it.
I have to develop it. If I'm enjoying the moment, last thing on my mind is my
taking
phone and
photos.
taking a photo. And I do regret later. Oh, not taking a photo, not having a memory and stuff. But I just have to practice that to do it once I'm living.
Gotta do it. Because that's our world now, next. And it's only
I have everyone else on my phone.
Get your butt on there.
Tons of photos of Vlada doing this, posing this, like doing makeup, everything. I have Vlada's millions of photos and maybe one mine. With Vlada in the background.
Jump in. Now you have to start doing it, especially for the show. And like, the podcast is so great. You want people to catch it and understand it. And you're beautiful. So, hello. This is the age of beauty.
Yeah, but do we still feel that beauty as before?
I think it's shifted.
Are we living it?
I think it's shifted to
next. What is next? What is next?
Next wave of we're all trapped in our own paradigms and like our own algorithms. So the way we see beauty is already relative, right? And
it's very narrow.
It's narrow. So I think everyone is kind of in this era of just doing what works best for them, except for people who are trying to go viral because they're the copycats that I stay away from. Ugh, the vampires.
So I'm not the only one thinking.
No.
Okay.
See,
I feel better now.
I used to post I was part of the first wave of social media, right? We had
You were named the best fashion Instagram, right?
Yay.
That was a few years ago. But like I was on MySpace. I was MySpace famous.
You were famous there?
MySpace famous because of the TV show from Komora. Which was, I didn't want to be on that show. I was trying to avoid it. Because I was like, that's not how a real designer lives. thank God I did, you know, because I would be just some other designer. People recognize me from back then, and they respect the fact that I was doing it so long ago. So that was cool to have that. And then Facebook happened, but I was in college. And so this is a funny story. It's such a funny story, which is why I need to maybe write a book one day. But I was in college and I heard about this thing called Facebook, and everyone was still on MySpace. And I remember saying, why I emailed Facebook. That's how small everything was back then, right? Emailed Mark directly because his email was on the site.
I remember that.
You should have all the art and fashion schools because we make everything cool and you know it. Please add us to it. A week later, he was like, you guys are added, have fun. I wish I saved my email. I wish I saved that email because it was in my EDU for school. And I never thought twice about it because I was like, okay, everyone, in the computer lab. Okay, everyone, it's time to listen to me. No more MySpace. It's all about Facebook, y'all. It's only for college students. And I will never forget standing up and saying it and converting people, literally saying, face and a book, like a face and a book. I kept saying it to people standing up over the screens.
So Mark, I mean,
like, come on, find that email, send it to me. It's so crazy because
I'm sure he has it somewhere.
yeah, this is how he became super popular.
He definitely
For sure.
has that email somewhere, and I kept trying to get into my EDU to have it when Facebook went public because it was only for college students,
Yeah,
and
of
like
course,
you know, and you had to be invited. That like energy.
I was invited back then, I think 2005, 2006,
It's so
and I was
cool.
like, what is this?
What
I
is
don't
this?
get it.
Because we were so used to
Super
stuff.
Yeah, but now there were like only these kids from like college and university, like
Yeah.
I don't know, finance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What is fun?
The
Yeah,
finance
I have
guy.
nothing, and I was like,
Yeah.
girl there,
Literally
not
was
even in college.
It was so frustrating, and it was like I had to make sure I stood up for the art kids, like the fashion and art kids, because I was like, we make everything cool. Like I had to make sure he knew there was some FIT EDU, like you know, he saw all of it, and I was really grateful because I just wish I saved that email. But
And how fast we came to here nowadays from that. It's like
Wow.
only 20 years of,
about 20 years,
yeah, 2 decades.
and it's still
but
changing because now you have
Yeah,
TikTok.
but it feels like 2 centuries.
It the world was so different. It was so small.
Many of our listeners were not even born. They cannot
Wow.
even imagine like you were like dialing up and like
the
with a
internet-
wired phone.
The internet was so small.
Yeah, do
Like,
you remember dial up?
Oh my god, of course.
Like in hotel, and
Oh my
then it's 300 hours to
For a photo. too.
yeah.
Oh my god, I remember.
No, to get the facts for the castings or job for
Forever.
tomorrow, forever.
Remember trying to log onto AOL and how long that
yeah.
sound? Oh. Damn. You're like, oh, it's gonna wait like 20 minutes for it
And
to
now
go
you're
on.
like, what's wrong with my
It's so slow. Wi-Fi so slow. But the world we're in now is so much faster, and it's going to get faster still.
How
with
do we?
AI?
How do we?
It's already here. I think we have to adapt to
Let it go.
but understand like we don't want to be our grandparents who are afraid to send PDFs or pictures on their phones, right? We just gotta keep adapting to it and take it slow and understand that it's part of it's already part of who we are today. Imagine 20, 30 years from now when we're like seniors. Then we're talking about the millennials can't do this and can't do that. So what? We created it.
Like boomers. Yeah, right?
Because the boomers are like, wow. You know, it's just how the cycle is. Like my niece, she's an alpha. She's Gen Alpha. She's a genius. She's like coding games.
Yeah, my son.
I freaking love it. Because I'm like,
It's like,
ooh,
let me
teach
check
me.
your YouTube channel. And
Like-
he's like, why you're not adding this? I'm like, what is that? He's like, oh, you know?
Here, da, 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 da. And it's
I
done in
cannot
like
even.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
And you know what I think is going to be interesting? Because as a forecaster, right, I'm always thinking about what's next. In another 10 years, at least, this system is in trouble. 5, I want to say 8 years. The system that we have, where we have to wait on, I'm on hold for 2 minutes. This is too long. Imagine when they hit that age when they have to do stuff.
Yeah.
The system's crumbled. They're gonna just say, I don't want to do it. I'm not paying it. It's gonna.
They're already doing and
Yeah.
saying that.
And if they don't fix the system now, just imagine how hard it's going to be for the system, because the alphas will do their own thing.
Yeah.
They're gonna move and do their
They're
own.
already doing.
Yeah.
They're
in their
not
own world.
following.
Yeah.
Yes, the
So
system. Yeah.
we just have to prepare for when they come of age and they create their own social media that we can't
I'm
get
following
into.
them.
I love it. I think it's great. We all have to just remember to adapt and keep evolving
and learn from them.
and learn from them, and because they see things in a very clear, different way.
Different. Totally
You know,
different.
like when they come of age, they're not gonna really understand why we went through so much nonsense.
Yes.
And it's gonna be really refreshing to see how they shape the world, which is great. And it's funny because I always laugh and say, I was born in the wrong century, because I'm such a futurist that I have to slow down sometimes.
But I think that's amazing, because this time that we are living now is exciting.
It is.
Imagine you were born in 50s.
Oh,
It's like
I
you
know.
saw your first TV
I
when
could
you were
not
like
be
25.
We couldn't even sit like this together.
Yes.
I could not wear my thighs out either. Tripped and Rick Owens.
Yeah, so I think I'm happy to be 40 in 2025.
Right. And you know what's so you know, if we think about society and where we're headed, right? We have to allow the next generation to thrive and do their own thing and not try to suppress it because we don't understand it.
But what about fashion?
Baby, fashion. So fashion is interesting right now, right? Because we have this division that's happening within the world. First of all, everyone in every designer house has changed.
Yeah.
So that's a new world that's coming this season, right? This
Yeah,
season's
completely new. Yeah.
And then you have these really, I don't want to say it. Okay, we have this TikTok fashion thing that's happening, and it's affecting the way people do business. And I feel like it's affecting it in not a negative way.
Do you think it's a
in
fashion
new
or
way.
it's just trends, like short-living trends?
Super short-living trends, but because it's clothing and items, they call it fashion, right? And I don't think it's fashion. And I keep saying I want to find a new word for fashion because it's not what it used to be. How things will sit longer and you can define trends and not trends, but you can define eras more. We won't, because we have algorithms that's dividing us all up side by side.
Yeah, but now fashion is more, as a word, fashion is more related to luxury, like a high-end designers and stories, which it wasn't the case before.
Wasn't. Fashion used to be it. Ugh. But I don't want to sound like I'm an old granny, because it's always
No, we're
change.
just comparing because we lived in the era.
It's always going to
that
shift,
things
and
were-
that's what fashion is, right? I think telling new narratives with the clothing we wear and how we move in the clothing.
So is that what you want to do in some like futuristic magazine?
I want to work with a magazine that's pre-existing that needs a facelift. I have a background in
Tell us more.
oh my god, UX design. I took a year to learn UX design, and I'm certified in generative AI. UX design is, layouts of apps and all of that. And I love it. And I think that's so important. And I want to do that with a magazine and make it feel more immersive and more interesting, so they don't have to worry so much about print, but you make the print feel luxurious. And
which magazine would
special.
be the most?
Well, I want to circle back and go. I don't want to work for Vogue. I don't think Vogue gets me as much as I think they should. And I love them. Love y'all. Thank you. But I want to work with, like, I said Complex earlier. I want to go to Complex and like fix them because they're forgotten, but they were part of culture. But why not make it about art and raise the standards and raise beauty standards for men and women, and raise the way we eat, and I always love the idea of raising culture, which is probably why I struggle so much.
So when are you gonna start calling them?
I already did.
You already
Every
did?
week.
Started doing last week.
Okay. So
I know.
keep doing.
I'm weird, but this world that we're in is all about, I never really had to do a resume. So like resumes and like putting keywords in there because of AI. And it's unfortunate
hard.
because you're getting people who are not qualified, who doesn't have any dream or
But they fit the
vision. They have all the keywords in there,
algorithm.
and you can get it. So I hope the people from Complex understand that if you put it in front of me, it's gonna get done, and we're gonna just shift the narrative. And that's what I want to do. I want to like shift things that people are forgotten about and make it interesting for Tom, Dick, Harry, Keisha, Margaret, Megan on the street. Because that's how we move culture forward,
Yeah, of
you
course.
know?
Jerome, have you ever had a moment when you were predicting something and people didn't believe you and they were like, oh no, like you were too ahead of your times and then it happened? Can you give us an example of that?
Best one was, my favorite one is the Bronx. My whole career I kept saying, it's gonna be important, it's gonna be like Dumbo. Now the South Bronx is basically the last frontier of New York City. There's nowhere else you can really build new things, and you know, it's gentrified significantly, but that's neither here nor there. But what is so cool about that was, I had a vision for the Bronx, and I wanted it to become something that felt creative and artistic and more than just hip hop. People were like, why'd you open up a store there? It's like, because I believe in it and I know and I could see what's gonna happen next. And then it exploded because, partly because I had the store there and I had celebrities come visit, but that was part of the vision, you know? And now everyone's like, oh, I live in the Bronx. I'm like, you just moved here. Welcome to the neighborhood. Welcome to America, in my opinion.
Do you still live there?
No, I live in Washington Heights now, Manhattan, but the Bronx is still my kingdom, I like to say. I help to make so much happen and like help them shape their narrative in a cool way, and I love that. And that goes back to my macro idea for myself, right? Bringing things that's down here up. Everything I do is that. Like if I feel like there's something, a weakness in the brand, I like to go in and go, let's fix that. Favorite one, Birkenstocks.
What did you do with that?
If you scroll all the way back, I was one of the first designers to even embrace Birkenstock and make them into their fashion like thing. And it's so cool. You can just scroll all the way back and see the shoes in my collection in 2015, 14. Wow. And I kept working with them and saying, hey, here's what I'm doing, and they support it. Love them. Friends with the CEO. Hey, David.
We'll talk to you later about that for the paper doll.
Yeah, that's all right, yeah.
But you have so much experience in design and celebrities and styling. Why magazines?
Because it's dying.
And you don't want to let it die.
And those people, it's a challenge, which is crazy for me. Why, Jerome?
Because it sounds like you're looking for a challenge all the time. Like when everything is soft and smooth and going very well, you become bored and you're like,
I'm cursed with this wonderlust feeling to like, it's a visionary. But it's really hard because it takes a lot of time for people to align with the vision. So often, I didn't want to have a store in the South Bronx, but because no one understood, I said, okay, well, I'll have to prove it to you. And I had all the designers in there and my own brand.
Like Elizabeth. Everyone says no, but she's like, let me prove it.
I want to prove to you. And I think that's the only way to do things sometimes is because people are so stuck in their reality, you know, like they don't want to try something new until it's seen and proven. And it's like, you're late, I'm already on to the next thing. That's the story of my life.
I have a question. Have you ever failed?
Yes, multiple times.
And
I flipped. I think the store was a failure in the Bronx. I think I could have done more with the store. I didn't have the funds to do it the way I really wanted to do it.
Why do you think it's a failure?
Well, for myself, it was a vision, but I pivoted, right? Because at the same time, my social media was exploding. And so I'd use...
Because of that?
Because of, I guess, the narrative of me being an entrepreneur was exciting for people, and they kept seeing me reinvent because I already had a fashion brand. Beyonce already wore my things multiple times, and they saw me every day hustling, going to my store and building something new and finding new designers and putting them in my store and like finding new artists and putting them in my store. And, you know, they saw that and people supported it. And this makes too much noise.
But do you think,
I love it.
do you think, I feel like it's not a failure. I think it wasn't just the right time, like not now, you know, but it was the great starting point for everything else that came
Absolutely.
after it.
Absolutely. I'm brave
So it
enough
was
to do
a
that.
failure as a brick and mortar store, but the vision and the work in it was just developing into something else.
Yes.
Just a step.
Yeah, just a step, like reinventing.
I would curate like a magazine, like a mood board. You know, I would make sure every time it felt new and fresh and different and creative, and find new designers and new artists to make sure it felt like something new every time someone visited the brand, visited the store. I stopped it from my own reasons because I wanted to do more influencer things. I was getting paid so much money. And now I'm done with influencer stuff. Like
You're done with it.
I reject so many things because I don't believe that my algorithm is reaching people, right? The algorithm has shifted, so people aren't really seeing me. I don't get the likes I used to get. And I just don't think I don't think what I have to say right now is significant, but I know what I can say with a publication without using words, but showing dynamic ways to show culture in a new way, a new fresh perspective is my way of tapping into my next chapter.
Do you think influencing as it was until now is dying or shifting?
It's shifting. We're always gonna have influencers, but I'm not on TikTok. I should be, everyone says it, but I don't see myself being as engaging. I'm not much of a talk to the camera guy. I'm a conversation guy, so that's hard for me, you know.
So I have an idea. Let's do our first TikTok post today, you and me together here after this episode. So we post it and we start rolling.
But you wait until we air.
We wait until
so
we
you
air.
record it today.
Yes.
Okay, deal.
My TikTok is like
deal.
I have like some people up there, some like followers, but it's not like whoa millions, you know. So let's figure out that social media thing.
We'll talk about it.
Because that's the
I
next
have to ask something. It's a question that I have for a couple of days since we decided we're doing it with you this week. You're a trustee of a Bronx museum.
Yes.
Okay, what does that mean? How did it happen?
Wow.
And why? Like, where do you see yourself in? So everything that we heard already and museum, it does make sense in one way, but in the other way, it does not make sense at all. So can you give us the input of where is your sense in all of this?
Yeah, well, they approached me maybe 7 years ago and I accepted. I also gave a lot. The influencer money helped me buy tables and all of that and support the museum. And it allowed me to move in a different way and help to shine a light on the Bronx.
Is that cultural thing that is shining within you that you want to
I think the Bronx Museum at the time was entering into a phase that they needed to change, and I was the youngest trustee they've ever selected. So that was a big deal. And I had new ideas, and the board was so receptive to it, and I'm grateful. I don't know how long I'll be on the board. They may kick me out soon, I don't know. But what my role is to help raise attention and money, if possible, to make it into an institution that needs to be. It's been around for 50 years, so it's been around for a long time. And it's a place where many artists have begun their career, and they've been really strong with making it feel contemporary but still educational. I love that. I even have a seat on the Children's Museum of the Bronx too.
Oh, really? I was there a couple of times.
Yeah.
Taking my son there.
In the Bronx? The one right there?
Every single children's museum in the tri-state.
Yes.
I visited a couple of times.
So if you've probably seen my niece. She's the face, she was the face of it.
Oh,
and she has the big glasses as soon as you walk in, and we're on the walls too.
I have to look through.
You have to look through it again.
Yeah.
And there used to be, so there was an exhibition that we created called Bronxtopia. And what's so nice about it is a way, it's AR. So you go into the space and the screens scan you and you could dance in front of the screen.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah. So you saw did you see the cartoony?
Yes.
That was mine.
Yes. Really?
Yeah. I created that. Yeah.
When
When you go
did
back,
you do again?
when you go back,
Yeah,
you'll
we have to go back. I have to
you're
take
gonna-
it again.
When you go
Yeah.
back, you'll see it. I drew all of that. The background, all of that, and it was like a year and some change to develop the technology because it didn't really exist for us to get to that point to teach kids new dances.
Yeah, I have to take him because that was one of his favorite things.
Yeah, you get to become the animal and do the dance, and we did that in we designed it during 2020, and I got to dress them in cool clothes. Like I designed their outfits, and it was fashiony, but it was technology driven. So there's my futurism, but then it's also speaking to the next generation because my
younger
niece
kids,
consulted on it.
they understand how. And me, when I saw it, I was like, "What do you do with this?" You know, and he already was there. How
my
to
niece
activate
consulted
it.
on it. She was so young at the time. It's so crazy because she grew up with not with the technology, but she was like commenting on, I don't think that's nice looking. And she was like 4 years old at the time when we were doing it, and she kept saying, you know, she was 3, and then the years kept going because technology had to get there, and the museum didn't open yet. So that's why they used her as like the face of the museum because she was so involved with it.
That's so cool.
So I feel very lucky to have my niece to like keep me in check because she was like, I don't like that. She calls me UJ. And she was very clear. I don't think that's boring, UJ. I was like, how do we make it cooler?
Yeah.
And then she would give her input. By the time it was done, she was like,
Do you test with Ray our
Yes,
podcast?
a lot of things. Yes,
How
a
old?
lot of things. He's going to be 11 in a month.
Yeah, see, yeah. And they
A lot
know.
of things. Yeah.
What I like about it now is that the next generation has a sense of self, but also they have a sense of what they like and don't like, and being more vocal about that.
Yeah, the other day I found out, I didn't know because he does not talk about that much at home, that every single kid in school knows that I'm a YouTuber, that I'm a model, and I'm his mom. And he wanted to comment under one of the videos, that's my mom, right? But I said, no, don't do
we're
that.
good.
No,
I love you.
wait. Yes, and I realized one day kids are looking at me differently, you know?
Like with more respect?
No, like more, that's
Like
her.
she's special.
Yeah,
And I love
that's
that.
her.
I think that's but you know what? That's the era we're in. This next generation needs cool leadership, period. So you are.
Yeah.
Lead into it.
But it's weird, you know, because when you're a mom,
Yeah.
you're a mom, and now they're like looking at you like you're not just a mom.
You're a star.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, Vlada is, not me.
You know, that's interesting you said that. But that could be inspirational, right? Because I was inspired by my mom to do everything that I did, right? Because she was in the fashion music thing, right? So who knows? Just like let it be and see what happens.
But this is the first time I think he, like with the podcast going on, he started thinking about fashion. And he asked me a couple months ago, what does it mean to be a model?
Wow.
You know, he had no idea. Like he never saw my photo or anything. He had no idea what I did before him. You know,
Actually,
I think that's
what
so
does
brilliant.
it mean to be a model? We're
Right?
always talking about it, but what if for real
so I
someone
said
is
to him,
watching
I
and they
said,
have no idea?
I said to him that my job was to put the clothes on or makeup or jewelry and make it special so people wanted to buy. And he's like, how do you make it special? And I'm like, I stand like this, or I'm, you know, laugh or this, and people think that I enjoy it, you know, and then they buy it. And he was like, oh, really? And I have a one photo of me like looking very cute, looking off a little bit, and I'm like, look, do you like this dress? Yeah, it looks good on you. And I'm like, if I tell you that dress wasn't looking good, but when they put it on me and with the, you know, everything, that was my job. So now he's like, okay, so you have to make things more beautiful. That's your job.
That's
I'm like,
literally
That's
it.
my job.
That's
Right.
my job.
Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
And
That's a perfect
and you can also just say, hey, I mean, he's listening to everything, but that has created the lane for influencers. If there weren't models, there would be no influencers, right?
Exactly.
Or
But there is a difference.
there's a complete, listen, just so you know, being a real model is not an influencer, just an FYI.
No,
Can you please explain why?
there's so many people who think because they are in front of a phone or a camera with their followers that they are bigger, better, more professional, more experienced, I should say, than people who are actually in the business as models, as salespeople, as experts. And I think that's the problem right now, which is why I took a step back, right? There's a blurring of the line right now in fashion where, or not just fashion, but across different industries, but fashion, because we're here for fashion, that because you have X amount of followers, you are X amount of stylish or X amount of fabulous. Or you need to be invited to Dior. You have to be, and that was, I mean, I get it. That was the follow-ups to remember the bloggers?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Remember the situation when the bloggers were sitting in the front row with their laptops, so corny. But it was a moment because it was speaking to a different generation.
Marc Jacobs was the first one to invite.
Yep. And that was a big, whoa. And now everyone respects it. But influencers has a different thing, I believe. I think the influencer, I don't like using that word anymore.
I remember how offended I was.
I used to be upset.
I went to a fashion show. I was invited to be at the front row to watch the show, and then after the girls who organized it, they're like, "Vlada, if you want, you can go to the influencer lounge. There will be like a lot of things going on." I'm like, "Yeah, just go check it."
VIP.
Yeah, it'll be fun there. So I go there, and so there are other people who didn't invite me, so they don't know. So they don't know I'm coming to the influencer lounge. And they're like, "Are you an influencer?" I'm like, "No, I'm not."
No, I'm not. That word was a dirty. It is to me a dirty word still.
It is still,
and I think it
for a lot of
degrades people who are right. It degrades people who are actually who've been doing the work and. Just because I'm in this room.
Well, they are doing work.
Yeah. No. Let me say, I was an influencer. But I was also an entrepreneur, and I was also showing the process and being a designer and doing it. But I never considered myself a just full-on influencer. It was just something that I captured to tell a story. Now people are living. I mean, they make money. Make your money. Everybody. But when it comes down to, I think that's what's happening with culture. This sounds so crazy, but it's true. We're not looking at the people with the real expertise anymore, and we're just discovering these funny little people. There's nothing,
who are very good at selling themselves and their stories. They're salespeople.
We love them, but it's so crazy because how does that affect culture, right? So that's where we are, because I think if people, and I want them to succeed, and I want these people to succeed. But how do we find that middle ground to make sure that it doesn't stagnate where we need to go next?
When I think about influencers, there is a huge difference between influencers and models. Like influencers, they do everything on their own.
Yes.
So hair, makeup,
it's
recording, it's so hard. Like
lighting, positioning, scripting.
Everything. And for models, it's the other way around. But this is funny that you mentioned this. I had a meeting with the girl who is going to be our guest. We're recording her tomorrow.
Yay.
She's an entrepreneur as well, and she's a model. And when we sat down to talk about this podcast and something else that we're going to work together on, she said to me, so it's very interesting. We shot a campaign for her brand, and we booked a model and influencer. For a campaign, right? She's a model. And she's like, this is the moment I realized the difference between influencer and model. And I'm like, what is it? And she said, literally, models can take directions and they feel the clothes. We couldn't do anything with the influencer.
That's what I heard from someone.
Anything. She was not responsive at all. So we sent her home. She got paid.
They hired her as a model. Right?
As a model to be for the brand. And they sent her home. She got paid and everything, but she wasn't on. And she's like, guess what? 2 hours later, she's sending me a photo with the product that she did on her own at home. And she's like, this is what I wanted from her, but with my team.
Exactly.
That's hard. That is very interesting.
Hard. So when she said that, I went home and I was thinking, this is such a good point. If you want influencer, they cannot model.
And you use them You use everyone's superpower accordingly.
Exactly.
So everyone can.
So if you want campaign, if you want a brand, if you have a vision and you want someone to follow the vision, you book all the way model and team. But if you want this social media photo that speaks other language to
millions of people quick.
Exactly.
And that organic
let them
shot.
do it. Let them do it. Don't direct it.
When you said don't direct it, that was literally part of my whole process. I could not take a direction. I did not
so
like it.
So you're an influencer.
I guess. I just had a certain, well, as a creative director, I was like, you're not strong enough. I'm gonna take over. And I hijacked a lot of people's projects because I had a better, sharper eye. And they were like, we love that. Yeah, your creative director sucks. Hire me next time. They did. But it's like, it's true. The taking direction part is tough because the influencer does have a certain perspective that they believe in, that knows, but not just that.
But they also
grew. Their followers know what they know what they want from their followers. So the followers know what they want from them. So it's that bridge.
So the influencer is talking to consumer directly. Model is talking to brand. Model is reflecting a brand vision, and the influencer is reflecting need from the audience and consumers,
which is important.
So we do similar thing, but in a different way, completely different way.
And we need both.
We need all.
I also heard that someone told me about the makeup artist as well. Like when with a big amount of followers, when they show makeup on their faces, and they do amazing job, like everything they do, they set trends and everything, and then they hired also that makeup artist to do
other faces
they can't,
because they're used to their own.
Exactly.
But again, this one is needed as well,
right?
So
it is.
And how do we find that perfect medium?
But I think it's also good that not one person does it all,
right?
So we do
the bridge.
Yeah, exactly, and we need to cooperate. I mean, not me personally, but models. I'm kind of representing models, right?
Yeah.
Do you think? Now I'm back to your idea to go back to magazine. Yeah. Do you think recreating a magazine and adding this new medium and influencer is the only way? Or you think your vision and your work and your experience can do it tougher way, like a more difficult way and longer, but you can do it without this new
I think I need both. I'm a yes and person. So I like to yes and this, yes and that. I think it's important to shape the next conversation in communication. I'm a Gemini, so I like communicating. And I believe that if you take a magazine that's been sleeping and dormant, that people kind of have heritage with and relationships with, and you add a new layer, a new conversation to it to make it more dynamic, it could really reach both people. The new people who just discovered it and the people who loved it. And I always saw myself as a bridge anyway, like we said a second ago.
Connector,
So like, how do we find that middle ground, but still make it interesting enough for people to be excited to even acknowledge it? Like, I don't think you should do a magazine every month anymore. Like, you're wasting paper. It should become an event.
Like like gift sort of,
right?
Like something.
It should be an event,
experience.
Yes.
Like how it used to be back in the days, even when it was monthly, right? You wait for it.
I can't wait for this magazine to come out and
to see it on a shelf in your kiosk.
And just and flip. And it should become that. It would need to be treated more like a luxury item, I think. So people can have it and collect them, like Nat Geo. Some people have like so many. Nat Geo is so special still.
It is forever.
And it's like, look at that. I don't care about the words. I'm just looking at the pretty pictures, and it's that feeling of an event, of an experience, of know-how, of collectability that I think the magazine culture should shift to.
So we spoke about the past and we talked a little bit about the present, dreams about future. But you just told us while we were preparing for this, there is something else cooking besides a manifesting magazine and cleaning your wardrobe. What is that?
We have to talk about cleaning
Yes,
the wardrobe.
yes. We're gonna go back to cleaning the wardrobe. But this is something that has nothing to do with fashion, but it's also tackling your desire to be innovative and culture and trendy stuff that are sometimes not really comfortable wearing and having. So
it's tech. I have a concept for an app, which is a mental health app.
Mental health.
But why does mental health have to be such a stigma, such a cast aside embarrassment for some things? I think it would be great to make it feel a little more edgier comfortable and cooler and make people feel more comfortable just saying, hey, I don't want to deal with you right now. You know? And so that's my next chapter. So I'm looking for investors for that. If you know anyone, send them my way, please. And I believe, you know, if I don't tap into the magazine, which I hope I will, that I would love to have an app that can help more people, because I really just want to help people. I want to shift the way we think and challenge people to be a little more just human. Because I think we are entering a phase that is so social media driven with the influencers, right? That we are losing our person to person sensibility and understanding that it's okay to be you know? And also, like, I suffer from imposter syndrome. And it's crazy because I, of all people, should be the most loudest person in the room. I still suffer from it.
But we heard that a lot from people in fashion.
Yep. And I always wonder why. And that's why I want the app to develop, so that it can help us all kind of shift out of that mode of feeling like we are alone and into something that feels a little more special.
So this feels really familiar to us because we created an app that is solving our problem. I mean, it's not as important and big as mental health, but it's also solving something else. But I have a feeling that mental health is becoming, talk and stories about mental health is becoming fashion in a good way. In a good way. We are talking about feelings and emotions that a lot of generations were taught not to talk about. You cry at home, not publicly. Now we have more and more.
Toughen up, you're a boy,
right?
Or, you know, all
but even
that.
for the girl.
For the girl, How do you cry in public?
The favorite phrase of our parents, grandparents. Oh, we didn't have psychologists, and look at us. We grew up normal. I'm like,
exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Exactly.
Now we're all like beat up.
So do you think mental health can be in fashion?
Yes. I think it already is. I believe.
I don't think it's there yet.
I think it's getting there because everyone's starting to wake up to it. You know, I remember back in the day how mean people were. People were really freaking mean.
Do you remember people in fashion? Like now, if you say to a model, you're fat or you're ugly, you're done.
Done. And
Back
I like
then,
that.
we were listening to that every single day.
Mean, just mean people for no publicist, rude, stylist, photographer, mean. And I came up, I was protected from that, thank God. And I think that's why I'm still a little more like just fresh with it. I'm still happy, but I always like to bully the bullies. I've always, because I can be a mean person.
We all can, right?
We all can. If you choose to. If you choose to.
Intense and really mean.
Yeah.
When I feel people aren't doing their part, you know? And if they're being mean to other people. Because I have thick skin. My skin is like platinum. So it doesn't bother me. If someone calls me a name, it doesn't bother me. But I know when people are bullying other people, that's when I like to say, hey, don't do it. And I'm a little, it's like my energy becomes like, I'm like 6 foot, I'm 6 feet, but I could be what? 8 foot giant, Sasquatch, ferocious if I feel like you're bullying somebody. I just want people to be nice and do their job. That's always been my thing. So hopefully the app can help shift that, you know, and help people feel a little more
Can we
comfortable.
fundraise?
I hope I can.
That could be a good idea.
I need
Like
to. I just don't know.
GoFundMe?
I've never crowdfunded.
Me neither, but
I'm afraid of it for some reason.
me too.
And I don't know what to do. I think I want to find a venture capitalist or some kind of.
They're saying crowdfunding is much easier.
Yeah.
You can find an agency who can do it for you. You don't have to do it yourself. Because people nowadays are investing in even a little bit chipping in, because people are nowadays more connecting to the stories and communities. So something like that, this can be like a very community oriented and time. And I think maybe crowdfunded would be the fastest way for you.
I think I'm gonna try it because I've been waiting and I've been working on it, and people who've seen it, they're like,
Fun.
it's amazing.
Good.
I'm like,
So when it's out,
we need the money to
We
make
can
sure
be
it hits
your
the
test
right way.
rabbits.
yes.
Yes, of course. Oh, absolutely.
For mental
Absolutely.
health, check us out.
Absolutely. Because I think we all suffer from something.
For sure.
And why not do it the right way? And make it feel good.
Living in New York City, dealing with fashion.
Enough.
Yes.
Enough. That's enough.
That already stressed me out.
I need a nap.
Yes.
Yeah, our app is a little bit different. It's more fun and game.
It's a lot of fun and game. Yeah, actually, we are using it lately, also helping each other.
Yes, Vlada was sending me yesterday, like, what do you think about this outfit? I'm like, it's an app.
No. Wait. First we were talking about, I'm gonna wear this and that, and she's like, wait, like describing it with the words. I'm like, she doesn't understand what I mean, and she probably thought the same. And then I went to the app, I created an outfit, I took a picture, I sent it to her, and she's like, yeah, you see. And then I'm like, yeah, I see. And then I changed it with like, you know.
Oh my God, I can't wait to get on the app. I'm gonna have to download it right after this. Because I'm obsessed.
So, wardrobe.
Yeah.
What is in there?
I have a lot of stuff.
Oh,
The look on your face. it looks painful.
Lots of Rick Owens.
I know.
Lots and lots of Rick. Lots of Marcella, Marnie. Most of it I've given to The Real already. And most of it has already sold out instantly because it's like stuff I've gotten.
So cheap there, I'm sorry.
I know.
I cannot stand it. I'm like, I'd rather have it in my closet.
And sit. But I'm really doing. I'm in this
I did
purging
that.
phase, and I was like, just get it out my way.
So
I did
paper
that.
doll will change that.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Well, hopefully I got some
Yeah,
stuff
hold
still
on.
left over.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
it's-
the whole, wait
I'm
with your closet.
I'm digging in there. I'll make sure. It's just stuff I have, like
I'm sure people would love to go to your
Oh
closet.
yeah, that's fine.
runway pieces. It's wild, and the stuff that I've like had from styling stuff. So
What was your favorite piece that you designed? Do you have it?
I do. The favorite piece that I've designed, I have like a few of them. I have like the last of my last pieces that was left over. There's a pink jean that I made with Macy's for my line with Macy's. There's a plum coat that I made that Beyonce wore twice. Very important. That's what made me go viral in 2013. And then there was a hand-beaded jean that I made, covered in Swarovski. So beautiful, so heavy, but I've had it for about 10 years and nothing's come off.
So do you still have them? Are you going to sell it?
I should.
So
Wait,
guys,
I don't know, baby.
So guys, if you just go to Jerome's closet and just buy
On Paper Doll app.
on Paper Doll app, or request to buy something that you like, and he might consider that.
Do you still design?
Well, I did the Met Gala,
Okay.
right? And I did that with Cartier, with Andra Day, pink futuristic zoot suit. I think I want to still design to an extent that it can be a moment in culture rather than just a bunch of pretty clothing.
Okay. Amazing.
I love the Edwardian era. Everything was so meticulous and so hand done, and I believe in that. And so I want to kind of create my own world that's around that somehow. I don't know how, but people want me to design. They still want me to design clothing, but I'm not happy designing clothing in that way anymore. It needs to feel like it's special.
Jerome, is there anything looking back at your career that you would change?
Good question. I think I would be a little more humble, more present. Wasn't present in all the amazing things I've done. I was always stuck in the future. So if I could rewind and just say, oh my God, look at you, Jerome. Look at what you did, and not feel like crazy.
So is that what would you say to younger Jerome?
Yeah,
Be
the
present?
younger Jerome, I would definitely say, hey kid, sit down, you're crazy, one. And two, be present. And I want everyone to know that, like, the more present you are, the better the memory will be. And you can do so much more with that memory than you even expected. So I think that's something I wish I was. Like, I could remember how I was before, and I was so excited and so present. And then there was a point where I was like, I gotta keep going. I just gotta keep going. And being very intense and very forward thinking, but never that present. Like, I didn't even go to like some dinners that I was invited to. I just didn't go. I'm still kind of like that. I'm working on that. I just, but I think my job now
We're
is
so
to,
similar.
I don't have a problem with staying home.
Me neither.
I love staying home.
Oh, me too. But like,
Let's all stay home together.
When I can come up with the best excuses you ever heard. So creative.
Sorry,
and
can't make
excuses.
it.
Yeah, right?
oh, just tripped. Sorry, can't come.
Jerome,
Yeah.
and what that little Jerome, 15-year-old, would say, what would he say looking at you right now?
You aged really well.
You did.
I think he would be proud. Like, the reason why I'm shifting now is because, and this is the scariest thing I could ever say, but it's the truth. I've achieved every single thing I set out to do before I turned 40.
Unbelievable.
So that's why I'm like, what am I gonna do? I gotta do something now. Because it's
Mental health
a
app.
reset. Yeah, and it's like, I don't wanna keep looking back as much as I can now officially look to the present. Because now I'm already in the future that I was manifesting, which is kind of magical, right?
Matrix.
Yes, yes.
So there's so many things that we would like to talk to you about.
Yes.
Extremely inspiring, but
We'll have to play the game.
yeah, we have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
To wrap it up, unfortunately.
You know our game, this or that.
Let's do it.
Fire.
You start.
Yeah, okay. She wrote it, so she picked the best questions for herself. But I'll remember.
There's just
Sage the room or light a candle?
Sage the room. Do I say this or that? Which way? I say sage the room. Okay, cool. Go ahead.
designing by mood board or by meditation.
Designing by mood board.
Beach day or mountain hike?
Beach day.
Futurism or nostalgia?
We visited both today.
No.
Futurists.
Dancing alone or deep talk with a stranger?
Wow, I like both of them.
You see, it's not an easy game.
Can I lay side by side? But I guess dancing alone. Yeah.
Yeah, we like
Yeah.
to stay at home, right? DIY magic or digital innovation?
DIY magic.
Voice notes or long texts?
Oof, depends on the day. Voice notes.
Designing for the metaverse or designing for the Met Gala?
I've done both. So what do I do?
What do I do? Which do you
The
like the most?
metaverse. They need it.
They need it. Front row energy or backstage cares?
Backstage.
Chocolate chip cookies or spicy popcorn?
Chocolate chip cookies.
Fashion Week Paris or Fashion Week New York City?
Wow. Do I have to say New York?
No,
No, you don't have to. You can
Because
choose
that's my
Paris.
hometown.
they don't have to.
But, you know, we love Paris. Paris is where it's at. Yeah.
And now a little interactive one.
Yeah.
For our app, we want you to choose maximal magic or futuristic minimalism.
Why did you do this to me?
It's not easy, not easy.
These are both my worlds.
I
Yes,
know, that's why I created it.
Maximal magic.
Here we go.
Just because you can play with futurism in it.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
So great. Oh my
That's
God.
amazing, right?
Honestly, Jerome, we can talk to you forever.
Likewise. This was really
There are
lovely.
so many more questions we have to ask, but
Sounds like a part 2.
Yes.
exactly. So we'll have to let you go and create the future in this fashion world. And
Yes.
app.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom and the story and energy and everything we got from you today. It's like a masterclass for manifesting
I
and
guess.
creating.
It's a little bit of everything.
And yes, thank you so much.
And I
I
think we
appreciate
can
you.
officially decide that Jerome should have his own podcast, or maybe even a planet.
Why not?
Yes, and we're going to subscribe for it.
Yes,
for sure.
subscribe and visit it for sure.
I have a cold from the weather, but I would think I would do it. Yes.
Okay. And if you guys know anyone who love fashion as much as we do, and you do because you're watching it, please share, like, subscribe, send it to them, and write a comment or review. Follow us, follow Jerome on Instagram. He's not on TikTok yet, but we will work on it. Both of us, we promise. And
And we are going to get back to you very soon with new conversations and new stories.
yeah, because fashion changes
But great stories stay forever.
forever. Thank you so much.